The air in that office was heavy, polished wood, cold marble, and the sting of betrayal. My chest thundered like a drum trapped in a storm. I'm Adrian Cross, 34, owner of a modest cafe in Portland called Lantern's Rest. It's not fancy, but it's mine, named after the lantern my mother used to keep burning in our kitchen window when I was a boy. Across from me sat a woman who'd spent decades slicing me out of my father's world. Veronica. Her diamond bangles glared like warning lights, her smile carved sharp enough to cut. She was certain she had already won my father's entire empire, an estate worth $160 million. And for years, I believed it too. The lawyer's voice cleared the air, and in that instant, everything I thought I knew turned to ash. This was never my world, tailored suits, leather portfolios, air thick with quiet verdicts. My place has always been the hiss of steam, the earthy smell of roasted beans, and the soft chatter of my regulars. For 17 years, I kept far away from my father's glossy towers. I loved him, but Veronica made sure I was nothing more than a stranger haunting the edge of his life. I was 6 when the world felt whole. Our house in Eugene buzzed with Mom's laughter, her shelves of paperbacks, the scent of cinnamon bread in the oven. My dad, Adrian Cross, a builder with rough hands and a grin that could chase shadows. He called me Little Architect, and we'd sketch houses on scrap paper while Mom hummed her favorite songs. We didn't have much, but we had enough. Then winter came early the year I turned 7. A truck slid through an icy intersection. Metal screamed. My world shattered. Mom was gone. Dad buried himself in blueprints. I buried myself in silence. At 11, Veronica drifted into our lives like a velvet storm. She was charming at first, asking about my drawings, my grades, my dreams. But her eyes told the truth, cold, calculating, measuring me like a problem she intended to erase. Within months, she married my father. Our home changed overnight. Mom's books vanished, replaced by glass vases and white orchids. Warmth was replaced by perfection. When her children, Nathan and Elise, arrived, I disappeared completely. Every smile, every ounce of my father's joy was poured into them. At 14, then 16, then 19, I faded until I couldn't breathe. Veronica's words were daggers. Adrian, try harder to fit in. Look at Elise, graceful already. By 19, I packed my life into a backpack and walked out. No chandeliers, no marble floors. Just an attic above a bar, the smell of whiskey and coffee grounds. That was enough. I built something real, Lantern's Rest, a cafe filled with wooden tables, a sketch of Mom framed by the register, fairy lights glowing soft at night. It was mine. Dad's calls came rarely. His voice was weary, filled with regret, but always shadowed by her. I told myself I didn't need him. I'd carved my own life. Until one March morning, wiping down counters at dawn, my phone buzzed. A stranger's voice, Mr. Cross, your father is in critical condition. The mug slipped from my hand, shattering across tile. I boarded the next train back. In the hospital, the antiseptic stung my lungs. Veronica stood guard at the door, her lips curled. You don't belong here. I pushed past. My father looked small, machines whispering around him, but his eyes still carried a flicker of the man who once built castles with me on paper. His hand gripped mine weakly. Adrian, he whispered. I failed you. But I fixed it. You'll see. He was gone within the week. The funeral blurred into gray skies and Veronica's rehearsed sobs. By the grave, she leaned close, venom in her tone, don't dream of a penny. This legacy belongs to my family. I said nothing. Just goodbye. But Dad's words echoed, I fixed it. When Monday came, I walked into a law office that smelled of power and dust. My boots scuffed against polished floors. Veronica sat at the head of the table, Nathan and Elise beside her, her brother Gregory smirking as if the estate was already wired into his account. The lawyer, Mr. Stanton, silver-haired and calm, began. To Veronica, Nathan, and Elise, Daniel leaves the coastal cabin and his old pickup. Veronica's laugh broke like glass. That's it? What about the company? The properties? The accounts? Mr. Stanton's gaze shifted to me. His voice steady, deliberate. 6 years ago, Mr. Cross established a trust. It contains his entire construction firm, the estate in Bellingham, the vineyard, the villas, the plane, assets totaling $160 million. The sole beneficiary is Adrian Cross. The room erupted. Veronica shrieked. Nathan cursed. Elisa's eyes brimmed with shock. Gregory threatened lawsuits. I sat frozen, the folder heavy in my hands, my father's signature bold across the pages. He said you would carry his vision forward, Mr. Stanton said softly. He believed in you. I stepped outside, spring air cool against my face. The folder clutched to my chest, my heart split between loss and gratitude. For years I thought he'd abandoned me. I was wrong. He had been watching, quietly, waiting for the moment I was ready. Back at Lantern's Rest, I hung one of his old sketches above the counter. The cafe smelled of cinnamon, just like Mom's bread. I whispered, I'll carry it, Dad. I promise. This wasn't about riches. It was about being seen, being chosen, being more than the shadow Veronica tried to erase. If you were given one chance to reclaim what you were denied, what would you do? Tell me in the comments, I want to hear your story. And remember, subscribe to Tales Between Time for more stories like this.